Now, hi everyone. That's embarrassing. Crap. Alright. So anyways, what I was trying to say is, hi, welcome to the fish train. You'll need 730 plus gathering, and you'll need to bring your own bait, because I do not have any. The window opens in about 3 minutes. I'm going to redo my prep here, and whenever I do like the guide part of this, I'm going to basically just I'm going to pause for a moment, give a little bit of a like explainer of what to do, and then we'll just go into the window. I'm so sorry, guys. Hi, welcome. Lemon, since you didn't hear it, thank you for that sub. That's incredibly embarrassing. Okay, so you can all hear me now. I have this whole thing set up to that it's recording a source version of the game, so I don't have to worry too much about like background noise and stuff. So Mortimer is on. You can use Mortimer. I got him fixed this morning because he broke again, and I figured out why. But you can use Mortimer. Please feel free to do that. I might speak over him briefly, but for the most part, we're just going to do that, and you can do whatever you want with him. And then I'm going to just explain what to do for everybody. So here we go. Alright, so we're going to be catching Shadowstreak, which is the big fish of Proud Creek here in Gridania. The first thing that you're going to want to do is just go ahead and cast out. I use Chum just to make this part a little bit quicker. And using Ambitious Lure, I'm going to start trying to catch a southern pike, which is the main and highest biting fish on topwater frog that we're going to want to use Surface Slap on, because Shadowstreak is a straight catch fish. It is not a mooch. So we're just going to catch whatever the most common bite is, use Surface Slap like that, use Chum, and then we wait until the window opens at 8 a.m. The music, if the music's loud, that was one of the things I realized I said, is if the music was off, let me know. The irony of this all is I probably spent a good 30 seconds talking about how I readjusted all the audio, so if it was messed up, please let me know. Yeah, the music I'm fixing now. Yeah, I have done that once. I've done that once before where I've muted myself and not turned it back on. And I did that for a whole like hour-long interview stream, so they only heard the person I was interviewing. I was incredibly embarrassed after that. But please let me know if the music's any better. Probably also just adjusted on my end of it. Alright, so as we're approaching the window opening at 8:01, what you will end up doing here is just cast out at 8:01. Do not cast out at 8. Just the way server ticks work. You want to cast out at 1 minute after the hour. Like so. And then you just basically are going to be sitting here waiting for the ferocious bite, which is the 3 exclamation points. If you get any other bite, go ahead and use rest, like that. Use Chum, and cast back out. If you want to, you can also use Ambitious Lure. I don't think that it's going to have a massive impact, but if you want to be a little bit more active with your fishing, you're more than welcome to. It won't hurt you. And you're just going to basically keep doing this until you get your ferocious bite. I did not get that within 3 casts. The other thing that I wanted to say too that I said while muted was this is a dry run for... So once you have your Ferocious Bite, you can just go ahead and use Hook to reel that in. I have found personally that Shadowstreak can slip a fair bit, so if it does, just repeat what you were doing through the rest of the window. Cool. Thank you, Midnight, for that. That only took me... How many casts did that take me? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I was one off. But as I was saying, this is a dry run for streams like this that I want to be doing more. I want to basically only on stream be catching big fish on this guy. And what we'll do is these guides will... the guides that I'm going to be, like the info that I'll be giving you in stream, will then be given, will be edited back out and turned into basically like mini guides. They're not going to be my normal formal guides. They probably will get probably put into like their own playlist as well. But we basically are just going to use that as like a way to start getting more guides and info out for fish that typically would not be getting guides, like maybe Shadowstreak. I probably wouldn't get to that guide anytime soon. What are some of the like greatest bream in the world? Not necessarily one that I would use, but we're going to cover it anyways. All right, so for those of you who are still fishing, I'm just going to kind of wrap up here and do a little bit more. For those of you who are still fishing, we'll be going to the Matriarch after this. This window is open for another 2.5 minutes. I want you to make sure that you, throughout your window, continue to be using Chum. You want to be burning all that GP. You do not want to be capping out. That's one of the big things that I see a lot of fishers do for a lot of these fish is that they let their GP hit max and then don't do anything. If you're in a situation where you're fishing and you want to conserve your GP, you should still use Chum or... well, I guess Chum in this case would be the only thing that you would use, but in like ocean fishing, you could use Prize Catch or something whenever your GP maxes out, because you want to be constantly regenning GP. You always want to have some bit of a deficit in your GP. That's just better GP management. Nuge Melbone? I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but thank you for that Prime sub. I think we got a catch over here, and I think I saw you catch it as well. So the window goes until 10 a.m. Now, Shadowstreak is a split window. Its window is technically 4:30 till 10 a.m., but it is on a specific weather. So in some cases, you will see that its window is going to be longer than others, or ends or starts at different times. Split windows are something that you will see in a variety of different fish, and in my personal opinion, if you need to catch the fish, it doesn't matter how long the window is, you should still show up and try. I think the big example for that one is Celestial, which has like a 2-minute small window or like a 10-minute large window. A lot of people won't go to that short window because it's like, it's too small, I'm not going to catch the fish. You only need one cast to catch a fish. So you might as well just go and try your best to see what you can get. All right. All right, next up, we are going to be moving to the Matriarch, and now the Matriarch is always up, but we are going to only be here for about 17 minutes or so, because we're going to be waiting, we're going to then go to Aphotic Pirarucu, which requires a little bit more prep. so we need to go all the way out to Corthus Central Highlands, and then we'll be flying west. Out to the exploratory ice hole. Oh, nice job, Ignaria. And nice job, Lemon. And hello, Totodilly. And now, if anyone has any questions, either on Twitch and YouTube, I am jumping between the chats. I still haven't figured out how to merge them all into one place, but if you have any questions, please feel free to ask in chat, and I will do my best to answer them. So, a fun little thing here that we learned about the exploratory ice hole is that if you stand on like the farthest distance possible from the fishing hole and you're here for 50 minutes, you can just run to the other side of the hole at the farthest possible distance and reset your mist. You don't have to go over to Snowfloak to reset it. So just a fun little fact here. Yeah, that's probably about where I can be. Totodilly, yes, there is a list. If you go onto the fish train, schedule, you can click view baits and it'll tell you the baits that you need. I can also tell you that you will need, for the rest of this train, you will need honeyworm, first web spider, magma worm, shrimp cage feeder, brute leech, crow fly, and giant crane fly. Hole. I wish I had slightly better camera controls while fishing, because I would love to be able to just keep my character here, but also pan to the right just a smidgen, or rotate to the right just a bit. Give me 1 second. Prep for what I need to do. So the Matriarch is basically the most slippery fish in the game, and to offset that, it is available all the time here at the exploratory ice hole. It is a mooch off of an Abelathian smelt, so you're going to be wanting to use honeyworm because that's what they bite the most on. And when you get started, it's going to be just like every other mooch fish. You're going to open with Patience 2, and then you're just going to cast out. You're only ever going to be using Precision Hook Set for reeling in fish, because Abelathian Smelt is a weak bite, so you'll use Precision Hook Set to reel that in, and the Matriarch itself is actually a smaller sized big fish, and you'll use Precision Hook Set there as well. Because this fish is always up, you don't need to use Spareful Hand, just go ahead and mooch as soon as you catch an Abelathian Smelt. There's going to be a lot of Abelathian Smelts that you're going to catch, and there's going to be a lot of Matriarchs that are going to bite and get away. If you get anything besides a ferocious bite on that mooch, go ahead and use rest, and then just cast out and repeat. So hello everybody. jaw moth for catching it. The Matriarch is one of those fish that I like to leave towards the end of my big fishing journey, ignoring the fact that we're doing it like first here. I like leaving it towards the end because it's one of those fish that gives me control over when I get big fish or whenever I get titles, because it's always up. I can do whatever I want with it. It's very chill, literally. So you can kind of just come and vibe out, and then you'll eventually catch it. If you ever get a Lamp Marimo, you can either just let it go, or if you have enough GP, you can just use Circus Slap and just cast back out and go again. That way the next weak bite you get will be an Abelathian smell. You shouldn't have to do that very often, though. If you want to be really, really efficient with your time here, Abelathian Smelt won't really bite any later than 15-16 seconds after casting, so if you haven't gotten a weak bite by then, you can just use rest and cast back out. Save yourself a piece of bait, save yourself maybe 10-15 seconds, depending on what bites. When you finally get a bite, unless you're using Patience, use Hook. If you are using Patience, use Precision Hook Set. I wasn't there. And then just keep going, because it will likely slip on you. And it will slip quite often. Recently been getting into learning more about fishing in Final Fantasy due to my girlfriend and her brother loving it. Your guys are an explanation to available. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that you are you're coming in to try fishing. Pretty confident that if this stream format works out with the fish trains and explaining how to catch fish, if this works out, I'm going to need so much more storage for my computer. Because this is going to be a ton of footage, and I'm going to keep it for archival reasons. Like, even if I don't catch the fish, I'll probably just start sorting. I'll probably start sorting out the streams or the videos or whatever into specific buckets of room-born fish, blah 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 blah, so that we have that archival thing. But even then, I'm running low on my current drive already, and that's after I cleared it out at the start of Dawn Trail. What if they added a mooch loop that involved multiple fish, as in fish A mooched into fish B, which then mooched back into fish A, and the big fish was caught off one of them? We have multi-tiered mooch loops. We have We don't have any mooch loops that degrade. Like, you can't, it's not like you break the loop by going back a fish. They are always, like, very progressive facing, so it's always A into B, B then loops into C. That's basically the main formula that we have for mooch loops. If we have a mooch loop, sometimes it's like you catch A and then A just catches into itself and then it's broken by the one bite you need. You see that with Ruby Dragon. Some fish will mooch up into a fish and then mooch around a few times. You see that with Ninja Beta, which descends into Assassin Fry. But you don't ever see it go like fish A to fish B, then back, and then maybe loops at B and then back to A. You don't actually ever see that. There are also some cases where a big fish will be caught can be caught on mooch A or mooch B. There's some big fish that are caught straight catch that can also be caught off a mooch. Nepto Dragon is one that's relatively popular there. Do I think it would be interesting if there was? I think it would be novel for sure. I think it would be interesting to have a mooch loop that goes A to B, 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 and then has a chance to go back into A or up to C. But I feel like we need a little bit more tools to have a little bit more control over our mooches. Or else it's just going to feel really bad to get, go onto this, like, maybe like 5 mooch loop and you need to get B into C, and then suddenly you get an A and you have to basically start over again. I think that would just feel kind of bad. I've seen Mothia already catch this thing twice. Alright, we're going to be here for another 4 minutes, and then we're going to head to Aphotic Pirarucu. Another tip, too, for the Matriarch and just mooching in general that I forgot to mention, you can use Mooch 2 before you actually use Patience. So if it's a single mooch, like the Matriarch is, you don't necessarily have to use Patience once it runs out. If Mooch 2 is available, just catch a normal-sized moochable fish and then cast back out with that. And then, once Mooch 2 is on cooldown, use Patience 2, because the duration of Mooch 2's cooldown is 2 minutes. This is just a little over 2 minutes, so it actually works out really well that you can use Patience 2 while this is on cooldown, use this, and then use Patience 2 again, and it actually helps with your GP a little bit. I think the funniest thing I have seen in fishing so far is my girlfriend's brother catching bobgoblin bass in one attempt when all I'd heard about it was horror stories. Bob gets a bit of a weird rep. Catching it in one window is not... I'm not going to say it's common, but it's also not, like, uncommon. You're more likely to catch it your first window than not. But a lot of the horror stories from Bob come from the fact that it could be down for a very long time, and that just freaks people out. Like, it just came back from a 38-day downtime. It'll be down for 41 days later this year. Yeah, the fear around bobgoblin bass usually comes up when it's about to go on to a long downtime and you don't catch it. Like, because no one really wants to... Oh, right. Ignore the fact that I forgot to unlock Mooch 2 on this character. Whoops. I forgot that was later. It's fine, that does not actually hurt us in any way, shape, or form. Where's Vinia? Thank you for that follow. I think you got Bob first window too. I think I might have as well. This was back in Shadowstreak. I still have to do the Stormblood line, and while the Stormblood line is really nice, I wanted to do this dry run first so that I could get all the technical kinks out before I finish all those quests. Mooch 2 is just one of those skills that I don't think about because I usually don't end up using it all that often. It's very, very much a shake my head SMH moment though. Alrighty everyone, please go ahead and wrap up your buffs here. We're going to make our way over to Az's Law in the Delta Quadrant. And once you finally get a bite, if you are under the effects of Patience 2, just go ahead and use Precision Hook Set to reel it in Matriarch. Or at least have a chance. Well done, last cast. Cool, I can grab that. The other thing too is that I always want to make sure that I have all the instructions out so that I can just move them around. So I can edit those later, because part of the reason that I want to do this, that I've said, is I want to be able to edit a lot of these into... Work with me. Why are you freaking... I want to edit these into like mini guides. I might call them fish bites. Benro, thank you for the follow. Also, if anyone is subscribing on YouTube, I don't know because YouTube doesn't tell me. They only tell me about super chats and memberships. So if you subscribe on YouTube because you're watching this stream, thank you. I use Mooch 2 relatively often, I just don't use it on these fish. Matriarch is one of those fish that you can maintain Patience 2 relatively easily. Your GP, even though I'm not at, like, I'm well below max amount of GP that I can be at my level right now, you can pretty much maintain patience 2 pretty easily. We'll do probably the same thing here with Aphotic Pirarucu. Ooh, I did just realize one of the biggest faults, though, of doing live guides like this. That means I now have to learn how to properly pronounce half these fish's names. And I am not very good at that. Alright, we're gonna go right over here. Hold on. Who's Datnoy? Who changed their character name to Datnoy? That's perfect. That's great. It's a good shot here to use. Go over here. Oh, I wonder if my mouse is dying. That might be why my thing is skipping a little bit. So Aphotic Pirarucu is the big fish of Delta Quadrant here in Az's Law. It is mooched off of Aether Eyes. And so if you're at level 91 or higher, you're going to be using Spareful Hand alongside the purse web spiders as your bait, and you're going to go ahead and just start catching those guys. Clean up my inventory here like a professional. Go ahead and start catching Aether Eyes. Aether Eyes are a weak bite, so you'll be using Precision Hook Set to reel those guys in, and then you will use Spareful Hand. During the or before the actual Aphotic Pirarucu window, we're only going to be storing. We're not going to be actually mooching anything out yet. Once you've caught 3 Aether Eyes and you've stored them with Spareful Hand, keep using Patience 2 just to build up some Angler's Art stacks. Aphotic Pirarucu, its window can be pretty long, so having those Angler's Art stacks can be very, very helpful in being able to maintain your GP or being able to use like makeshift bait. Aphotic Pirarucu is also a split window, so that it means that it straddles a weather transition. So in some cases you'll find that its window is going to be very long, sometimes it'll be shorter than others. It all depends on the weather and when the clouds are actually appearing. If it's happening before midnight but not after, it's going to be from 21 to midnight. If it's after midnight, then it's only going to be 2 hours from midnight to 2, but if it's both before and after midnight, you get the full spread from 2100 to 2 a.m. Once I've caught all 3 of these Aether Eyes to use for swim bait, I'm just going to keep using Patience. Even if I get an Aether Eye, I'm just going to keep using Patience to build up those Angler's Art stacks. But once I get to about 10, like 9 or 10 Angler's Art stacks, that's when I'm going to catch one last large-sized Aether Eye, and I'm just going to hold on to that with Patience 2, or Patience, sorry. I'm just going to catch one last large-sized Aether Eye, and I'm going to hold on to that using Mooch, and then I'm going to wait for the window to actually appear. I swear I can talk sometimes. If you want to be a little bit more efficient with your Aether Eye collection, it is going to be an earlier biting weak bite compared to some of the other bites in the fishing hole. Eventide Star, thank you for that follow. Did I mark this? No. Another fun tip just for GP management in general is if you are going to be using Patience 2, make sure to, if possible, immediately use your cordial right after, because the way that it's just timed is by the time that that Patience 2 is done and you have just used that mooch, that cordial is going to be back up. And in a lot of cases, that cordial will be enough to either put you over the amount of GP you need to use Patience 2 or quickly recover after using it. Alright, I'm going to catch one more Aether Eye, and then I'm going to wait until the window opens at 2100 in this case. Oh, okay, yeah, okay, your main's on Odin. That would make more sense. I mean, I shouldn't really say much because this is my third fishing alt. Because I have Fruity Prime, Warm Water Trout, Navigator's Brand, who's just starting. They're kind of just, I use them for testing mostly. And then this one. And then I have an EU alt and OCE alt that are both working on big fish. My OCE alt has Lord of Far Waters already. And then my Japanese alt or my Japanese data center alt I haven't even started. I think they're like level 70 something though. Not sure. I have a lot of fishing alts. Alright, 3 minutes until the window opens. Hello, I go by the name of Eventide on YouTube. You can see you over there. Favorite fish, though I'm not the most experienced fisher. Seafaring toad, it is a funny frog. Yes, seafaring toad is a lot of folks' favorites just because of how silly and stoic he can be. Hating coral manta is also shared by many fishers. I like coral manta. You can do some weird stuff with coral manta now too with Ambitious Lure. There's like, it doesn't work super well, but if you get lucky, you can use Ambitious Lure to get a helmsman hand, slap it, and then the next Ambitious Lure, or the next bite, if you use Ambitious Lure, you can like draw out the coral manta because it's the only other powerful hookset fish once it's slapped. So that's always kind of fun. That sounds about right. window opens in about a minute now. Alright, thank you for that. Follow. Yeah, a lot of fishing does require, and Bella, thank you for that as well, a lot of fishing does require a lot of mental focus and fortitude, and there's a reason why we say it is a marathon, not a sprint. But also part of the reason I'm doing streams like this is to give folks maybe like yourself, like a group to go fishing with, or at least have somebody there. And we found that when you are fishing with other people, it becomes a whole lot more nicer. Alright, so when the time passes 21:01 or about 9:01 p.m., you're going to mooch that held Aether Eye that you have. With mooch. And then you are going to be reeling in ferocious bites. Now there are two. You could get a Aphotic Pirarucu, which is a much quicker bite. If you get a bite under 30 seconds, that is the Aphotic Pirarucu. That isn't the one that you want. You want the one that's later than 30 seconds, which could also sometimes be a Aphotic Pirarucu, but for the most part, you're likely to get Aphotic after 30 seconds. If you don't get a ferocious bite, like I just did there, you can use rest or just let it bite out, that's fine. Then select your swim bait, use chum, and cast back out. I use chum. You can only use chum on the swim bait. Don't use it on that held mooch because that will cancel the mooch. But use it on your swim bait because that will cut the time it takes for whatever fish is about to bite in half. Again, resting, non-ferocious bites, chum, swim bait, cast. When you are all out of your swim bait, just use Patience 2 and cast back out and catch your Aether Eye like we were doing earlier, and just mooch them immediately. You can also use Mooch 2 first, so don't use Patience 2 immediately. Just catch a normal, average size Aether Eye, then mooch it with Mooch 2 if you want as well. Also burn a couple of Angler's Art stacks here, because I don't want to cap those either. Now basically for the rest of this window you're just going to be using Patience 2, makeshift bait if you want and are low on GP, just to be catching Aether Eyes. Continue to use Purse Web Spiders, and then you're just going to keep mooching those Aether Eyes over and over and over again. Nice long bite here is always a good thing. Not in this case. I wonder if I can use the captions plugin and burn in captions somewhere on this too. Oh no, but that would mess with editing later. See, I saw in a short by Demo that you like a fish called the Mamoramora. Oh, that is true. What's the story with that fish? So the reason why I use, I catch Mamoramora, so, or at least I have a collection of them, is when ocean fishing came out, Mamoramora got this bad rap because it would basically bait people into thinking that they caught a spectral fish, and then it wasn't, and everyone hated them, and I thought they were just kind of funny shaped. So I would ask my friends back then to just hold on to them and then just give them to me. And they did. And then they made it a thing, and then I suddenly had a few hundred Mamoramora just sitting around. And then I was like, well, these are really cheap on the market board, so I could just buy a bunch. And I started buying more and more and more. And now I have over 17,000 of them. I think it is a DLSS. I saw a picture of someone getting a ghosting on their fishing rod. It was kind of weird. I'd never seen that before. I think though it is, if it isn't the DLSS, that I think there's some screen space effects that they use in this that can cause a similar issue. Do I need an additional retainer just to hold all the Mamoramora? No, they only take up, I mean, if it's 17,000, I mean, they only take up about, what is that, 17 income slots? So I have a ton of space on a bunch of retainers, well, on one retainer that I just don't use. I don't store stuff as much as other people, so a lot of stuff, if I do have it on my retainer, I'd just be like, meh, get rid of it, because I can always get it again. So no, I haven't had issues with that. I do have a retainer, though, that is dedicated to holding big fish, specifically, though. Alright, this window's open still for another 7 minutes. Aphotic Pirarucu can be a little shy, especially when it's hidden amongst the Aphotic Pirarucu. I'm also very, very certain that I have the book, because I went through and I made sure I bought all the books before this stream. So we're just getting a little unlucky here on not getting any of the bites. But that's okay, because Aether Eye bites pretty often. You're going to pretty much have 100%, almost 100% mooch uptime here, as long as you're using First Web Spider. You don't need to use any other skills. I don't recommend using any of the other skills either. First Web Spider really does all the heavy lifting for this fish in getting Aether Eyes. But this is one of those fish that will take time. So I'm going to reel this in just to show you that this is almost certainly going to be a Aphotic Pirarucu, because it was before 30 seconds. Ta-da. So if you're going for just the big fish, don't get baited by that Aphotic Pirarucu. Wait until after about 30 seconds. If you get like a close to 30-second one, you can reel it in if you're feeling uneasy. But that one was at like 24 seconds. No way that was going to be an Aphotic Pirarucu. If you happen to catch a Aphotic Pirarucu while under the effects of patience, you will use powerful hook set. If you aren't using patience, or you say you're using makeshift bait, use hook instead. Now I know earlier I was saying, hey, don't let your GP cap out, and I know I'm totally not doing that right now, but this is one of those cases where I'm not going to do it because I know I'm going to need a good chunk of it, and the Aether Eyes bite so quickly anyways that I don't feel a need to use chum, so I just let my GP sit. It's still good practice though to, on fish where you're going to be constantly mooching, or if you're going to be sitting around and you could be using chum, go ahead and use that as well. I see people holding on to so many Kraken mats as well, and I'm like, that's from Heaven's Ward. This isn't like a rare, this is not a rare material. You can just go gather that within an hour. Why are you holding on to it? It's 15 gil on the market board. Like, get rid of it, you don't need that. People forgetting their big fit or their folklore books is like a classic mistake that we see. I've done it myself. Oh, thank you for selling, for whoever bought my Oasis bathtub. I have seen that happen more often than not. I have I have done it myself with Fricacata. I think I went to about 5, 6 windows while gathering data that I had to throw out because I forgot to buy the book. Alright, there's 2 minutes left on this window, so this is going to end at 2 a.m. Eorzea time. So keep on casting and mooching there. I'm going to actually now start using chum just to maximize my bites here. One thing that I do also see often when I'm fishing, and I know that like with the new Dawn Trail fish, Unity Pain specifically, there comes a time where you'll have a strategy and it'll be like, this is a great strategy for catching all the fish that I need to get, and then you're like going through it and it's great for like 3/4 of the window, and then that last quarter of the window you have no GP. And it's really, really important that when you are developing your own strategies, which I hope you do sometimes, or you make the connection that, oh, this fish is a lot like this other fish. I can probably use how I caught that other fish for this one. Keep the amount of GP that you're using in mind so that you can make sure that you are effectively fishing the entire window. You don't want to really have a great like first half of the window and then a really crappy second half, because that's not super efficient. That's not going to be great. You should still be fishing in that back half of that window, but if you can't, if you're blowing it all in your first half of the window, that back half's going to be rough. All right, first window of the day without catching the fish, and that was not too surprising with this guy. Right, next up, we are moving to the Dravanian Forelands. Please meet me, before moving on, please meet me at Annex Shrine in the Dravanian Forelands. So we're going to be heading to Annex Old. Now, this is a fishing hole that I have a video on, but I want to make sure that I'm showing everybody how to get there. So if there's two ways we can get there. We can either go out the front door or we can go through the roof. My favorite is literally just flying up here and just go through the ceiling up here. And then you're on the floor that you just walk out of for everyone to come here so they can see. Other way. Over here. Circles are very hard to navigate. And then you will fly through here, and then you're going to hug the right wall. When I say circles are hard to navigate, I mean that literally, not sarcastically. Yulmore is one of my favorite cities, but whenever I zone in, I literally have to do like a 720 to get my bearings. So Annex Old is a notorious fishing hole for being hard to find. And it is because it is nestled under Morn. So Morn is a fishing hole that takes up like this whole area here, but Annex Old itself is actually this little POI right here, and it's on this rock down here. So if you're going to be casting out from here, this will have you casting into Annex Old. I'm going to stand right here so I can get some folks in the shot this time. Yes. Actually, I'm going to turn over here. Annex Old is a very noticeable fishing hole. A notorious fishing hole for being weirdly difficult to find. Alright, so the window opens up in 14 minutes. Let me get my bearings on this guy. I recommend the wrong bait for this guy. Hold on. No, I didn't. Yes, I did. This is weird. Okay, hold on. So everyone's going to be using magma worms, and I think magma worms will work just fine still. Because it's granite crab, cinder smith. Cinder smith, why does that sound wrong to me? Okay, so this one I might have to look into again. I don't even think I have metal spinner on me. No, so we'll just do it the old way. I'll have to look into that and maybe I'll remake it. Alright, so grab that first. Oh, Zamoka, hello again. Thank you for that sub, fish. No, I'm good for now, I think. I have to check because I don't know if the data's right. Something feels off about metal spinners here, so I'll have to double check that. But what we're going to do instead is we're going to use Magma Worm. Let me just confirm what I'm about to say. Lava Worm Slaying, thank you for that follow as well. So, alright. So Riddle is the big fish of Annex Old, and it is a mooch off of granite crabs. So what we're going to be doing is, much like many other mooch fish, we are going to be using Patience 2, and then we're going to be casting out with Magma Worm, and we're only going to be reeling in weak bites. The quicker the weak bite, the more likely it is to be granite crab, which is what we want, and once you catch one, you'll just use Spareful Hand to store it. If you get any other bites, like if you get a strong bite, you can use Rest and basically just reset. There was a reason why I definitely looked at Metal Spinner on this guy before, and there was a reason why I don't use them, and I can't remember why. Yeah, it's not that you can. My question isn't whether you can or cannot. It's what actually bites on Metal Spinner. Because what in theory you could potentially do is catch a Colt, slap it, Impaler into it, which is a different strategy. But I'll come back to that one later, and then double check it on my main. Did I secure a FanFest ticket? Yes, I got the pre-invitation stuff for it, so I was able to secure tickets. And I will be doing something in Anaheim for those of you who are going to be going to FanFest. In Anaheim, I will be hosting another aquarium meetup. This time it'll be at the Aquarium of the Pacific. Once you've already stored those 3 crabs, just keep using your patience, duration, and the buff itself to just gather more Angler's Art stacks. Yeah, the RSVP for the aquarium meetup will happen January 23rd, I think I have it slated for. I have to go literally film a trailer for it with my friend. Probably next weekend. And so once we do that, then I'll be able to edit that down and get everything together. If not, I might have to delay it like a little bit, but I'm not going to delay it for too long. Because I want to have at least 2 months available for people to sign up, because I need to get with the size of the group, the aquarium asks that I send them the reservation like 3 or 4 weeks in advance, because it could potentially be up to like 150, 200 people this time. When I did it in Vegas, it was 128, or about 128 RSVPs, and so this year, even with the decrease in players, which happens all the time, I'm still expecting it to be over 130 people at least sign up for it this time. Alright, the Riddle window is open in 8 minutes, so don't feel any pressure to rush through getting your granite crabs. If it takes a little bit of time, that's fine. We really want to make sure that our GP is full going into this actual window, because we're going to be wanting to use Chum and patience a whole lot more. It's also a very long window, so we want to have as much GP as we can to kind of stave off that slower and lower amounts of GP that we're going to run into later in the window. Alright, I have 9 Angler's Art stacks, and I just got a Granite Crab, so I'm going to wait. And from this point, I'm going to wait until the window actually opens at 8 a.m. I'm the J-Man, thank you for that follow. Are you talking about your in-game glam or like a real-life glam? Kagura Faye, thank you for the raid. I hope you had a wonderful little stream there. Oh, you know, your in-game glam is fine. No problem. I am a big supporter of raid and runs, because that's usually what I do. But thank you for the raid. Welcome in, everybody. My name is Fruity Snacks. I'm a fisher here in Final Fantasy XIV. It is basically my primary thing. And today we are doing a bit of a dry run for a type of stream that I'm going to be doing for the rest of the year, where we're going to go catch all the big fish in Final Fantasy XIV, and I'm going to go through each one and teach how to catch each of those fish efficiently on stream. So if you are interested in big fishing, you can join us. We're on Halicarnassus right now. For today, you just need to have over 730 gathering on your fisher, and you need, I think at this point, you'll need the Dravania and Abelathia's Spine folklore, and you'll be able to join us. I also make YouTube guides on YouTube. That's my other thing. All right, so the window's going to open in 3 minutes. At 8:01, you're going to mooch that first stored granite crab, and if you get a ferocious bite, the 3 exclamation points, you're going to use hook to try and reel it in. If you don't get the bite, then you will use chum, then pick a swim bait, and do that again, and then again, and then again, until you have all 3 of your swim bait burned. And then you are going to go back into using Patience 2 or Makeshift Bait, and you will then just continue to catch granite crabs like before. Instead of storing them, though, you will then mooch them immediately, and whenever you get a powerful hook set, or excuse me, not a powerful hook set, whenever you get a ferocious bite off of the mooch, use powerful hook set to reel it in. Riddle is a little slippery, so if it gets away on that first or second or third bite, don't fret too much. It is known for being a little slippery. Zonthia, thank you for that follow. And Tilloon, are you guys a group that go out and hunt big fish together? I'm about 50 off from Final Fish, but I've literally never seen anybody trying to catch big fish. I will be. I mean, I do go out and big fish a lot. I don't typically bring a group, but if people wanted to join, they would be more than welcome to. What's happening today is that I've set up a little fish train. For those of you who want to follow it, I will put it in chat. That's the wrong button. That's the right button. You are welcome to come along. I'm on Halicarnassus right now. We're at Annex Old. And if you want to come fish, you are more than welcome to. I'm going to be here on stream throughout the year. I'm going to try and do it a little regularly, maybe once a week. Picking some big fish. We're going to catch them together, and I'll teach everybody how to do it, because that's kind of my shtick. So love the content, Fruity. Thanks for your guides. I was able to finally get Final Fish after 20 salad windows. Oh no. Happy New Year's to you too, T-King. I'm glad you were able to get Scon. Aelid Scon is that one fish that I have a guide for that I'm always surprised does like a ton of, like, it is one of my original Aelid Scon is the most viewed video on my channel. Guide. Yeah, the reroll tech with Modestler is a little bit, you know, you got to take that gamble. All right, so as 801 rolls around, we're going to mooch our held granite crab. And if it is a ferocious bite, we'll use hook to reel it in. Else, we're just going to use rest and then use chum and select our next swim bait. I may join up sometime. I'm locked in right now getting Priest of Yaklakwa and the Greater Serpent of Branca. That is, I actually do like going for that one. That one's a good one to just kind of like pick a day if you're like working from home or it's a weekend. Just go for it. All right, so whenever you get a ferocious bite, you can use hook to reel it in if you aren't using patience, but if you are using patience, use powerful hook set. I hate the fact that I caught that first try because it makes guides really hard to make. This is the curse that I run into. If your first mooch wasn't Riddle, remember to use chum, select your swim bait, and then go ahead and cast out. And just repeat that 3 more times for the rest of your swim bait. I still think there's enough footage here that I'll be able to edit something. I'll be able to hobble some sort of guide together, because the other half the other goal, I should say, of these types of streams is, will you stop? Thank you. Calm down. The other goal of these streams is to give myself some footage and like guidance that I can quickly edit down into a very quick and rough video guide. Stop. Jeez. really just to give me something, quick and easy that I can use to create some sort of guide for fish that typically wouldn't get the usual production level guide that I have. So like all the Dawn Trail fish coming out are all going to get the guides that, if you're familiar with how I make my content, that's what it's going to be moving forward. Structured, higher production value. These are literally just going to be screen recordings with the edited audio, and that's it. I'm not really going to do anything super fancy with them. I'm not going to do the usual stuff that I have. I might not even put them into the same playlist. They all might just live in like a scrap box of like, here's just a bunch of quick guides, like tips on how to catch it. I have to figure that out. Anyways, this window is up for another 20 minutes. If everyone happens to catch, just shout out in chat if you've caught Riddle already. And if everybody catches Riddle, we might just go quickly move to another fish. Just kind of keep things moving before we go to the greatest Bream in the world. But I don't want to pressure anybody, so if no one gets it, don't worry about it. We're just going to stick around here for a little bit. Keep it slow. These fish strains are meant to be a little bit slower, and so it's I'm not really too worried about rushing ahead. I should marker that too. Wrathbjorn, thank you for the follow on Twitch. And again, if you are watching on YouTube, YouTube doesn't tell me anyone who subscribes through the live stream. So if you do subscribe through the live stream, thank you very much. I didn't mean to bring that up. I got distracted by a Discord message. I am glad that my videos are helpful. If they weren't, I wouldn't be doing it correctly, and I would hope someone would tell me. But I'm glad that I'm able to help you with getting started trying to go for the big fish. It's a ton of fun. I think big fishing is probably one of the most unique aspects of this game, and I don't think enough people do it because they're kind of scared of all of the stories that they hear about, like Bob Goblin Bass, and like, oh, it took me 4 years to catch a fish. A lot of those are the hyperbolic stories that are outliers. It doesn't take 4 years to catch Ruby Dragon a lot of the time. Like, that is so much of an outlier. You don't want to be following that, but that's what defines the stories around fishing. So you have to at least be aware of it. Fishing in 14 alone is such a good stress reliever. Yes, it is, Tillian. Tillian, I'm sorry, I couldn't see that second I in your name because the chat's small. If you're having a blast with fishing so far and you have only had one pain in the butt fish so far, you're doing pretty good. Yeah, the hotbar situation is a bit rough. I think I was talking to somebody the other day, and Fisher and Scholar have the same issue. Oh, congratulations on that Riddle catch, by the way. Scholar and Fisher have the same issue, is that I think we have more buttons than we do spots on a hotbar. My hotbars are almost completely filled with fish-related things. I don't even have duplicates, and I have 1 slot left, and I'm missing like 3 or 4 spearfishing skills. Actually, how much time do we have left here? 15 minutes. Lemon, are you here? I don't have chat on. I don't have nameplates on, so I don't know if you're actually in the fish train right now. But if you are, could I borrow a couple of those metal spinners if you're here? And you haven't caught Riddle yet? Like, don't let me ruin that for you. Keep going for that if you have to. But whenever you're available, could I borrow some of those metal spinners? Oh, you're right next to me. I want to try something. I want to see what the TC data says. Or see if the TC data is correct. Implementation of ocean fishing is quite good, yeah. Thanks. So, in theory, if I'm reading this data correctly, and it's not corrupted, or it's not out of place, I guess, you should just be able to catch a colt. And then, okay, so there's 1 crab, that's fine. Then I'm waiting for a colt here. Because I swore I tested this before, and there was a reason why I didn't do it. And now I'm trying to remember what that reason was. I think I think I'm actually seeing what the reason is. But I want to confirm it here real quick. In the remainder of this window, we're going to do some testing. Oh, I made the mistake of unlocking Scholar when I was level 100, and did not know that they both leveled equally. Yes, they are the only. They're the only job in the game, or the only jobs in the game that you level up one, you level up the other at the same time. Hey, Vixus. I'm fine. How are you? Okay, now I'm starting to remember why I didn't use Metal Spinner. I do need to see something though. Oh, you had your first test on Purse. How'd that go? This actually will help me figure out what I need to know. So, with Metal Spinner in Annex Old has 4 bites, 2 of which are powerful, 2 of which are weak bites. We see this a lot with like Dawn Trail fish, and so for some moochable fish like Muttering Mata Mata, or which one did we use it for? Matriarch, not really, but like Muttering Mata Mata, Zebetiak, Sleeper for Sharknose Gobies specifically. What's the other fish? Lottle in Waiting, that was it. Lottle in Waiting. The way that the bite rates are distributed, you can slap one of the weak bites and then get the other bite that you need to mooch. Now, with Annex Old, we have a similar setup where we have those 2 powerful, 2 weak bites, and we need to catch one of the weak bites. So if I catch that colt and slap it, then I should be able to use Modestler and just keep getting granite crabs. However, what I'm trying to figure out is how often does that work, and how much does Hoplite, which has a very high bite rate, ruin it? While being observing the cast long, had a long 31-second cast, and it seemed kind of sus. Was it a ferocious? I mean, it wouldn't have been a ferocious bite because you would have reported that. If it was a longer bite, it was probably either a blue purse, not the purse of riches, but it would be either a blue purse or a goldfin cavalli. Alright, we have 10 minutes left in the riddle window. So that's a granite crab. How easy is this to get it to set up first, though, is the question. Because the way that I'm looking at this is with Annex Old and Metal Spinner, you have 2 powerful, 2 weak, but the Hoplite has like a super high bite rate because it's a collectible fish, so it has to. And Lava Crab does as well. So now I'm just wondering if it's even efficient to use that Modestler or not. I'm pretty confident I did this earlier and I decided not to, but now I have to go back and check. There's two long bites though, is what I'm saying. So there's 2 long bites in High Tide Harbor, Blue Purse and Great Cavalli, so unless it was a ferocious bite, you would have to assume it's one or the other. If you got a ferocious bite, the 3 exclamation point, then you need to report that. Maybe this is better than I thought it was. I'll have to go back and check and do like proper run up with this, because I would have sworn I had tested this and was like, no, it doesn't work. Yeah, if it wasn't a 3, then it was definitely either a blue purse or a Cavalli. It's one or the other because there's 2 long bites. So you can slap one away, but you're just going to get the other. Alright, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that everybody? I think we're missing 1 person who hasn't gotten it yet. We only have 10 minutes, so I guess we can hang out here for a little bit longer. Oh yes, yeah. It is normal to have 31-second casts. Sorry, I misunderstood what you were saying there. Yeah, D-Pawn, Soul of the Martyr has like a average in the northern 40s, 60 or 50s, or something like that. D-Pawn and then Ambling Caltrop and Hinotus also both have very long bites. The last big fish my cast was caught at 45, yeah. Sorry, yeah, when I said collectible, I meant to say custom delivery fish. Oh look, another riddle. Yeah, Ruby can be pretty long, but 38 seconds is long for Ruby. Because it's north of, I think it's like 25 plus. No, Eventide, you're good. I think we have plenty of time. I added a lot of buffer time around these windows so that our GP can regen. I can make sure I got everything that I needed for recording guides and stuff. So you're good to keep going. We're gonna stay at Riddle here until the window closes in a little under 6 minutes, and then we'll head to the beach. No. Fish bite times can be can be all over the place, especially with big fish. Steel Razor's bite time over in western Kalusia coast is, I think like 7 seconds. Technically, Aelid Scan is like 8.5 seconds precisely. It's very specific. Some of them are a range. You'll typically find them to be the longer side, so like 20 plus seconds is my rough observation of big fish are typically, the longer biting fish. But it doesn't have to be that way. Actually, does fish stats have bite times? Like longest biting fish? But I think it is Soul of the Martyr, I think, has the longest bite. Yeah, the bite times for Soul of the Martyr is 34.6 seconds minimum, with a 57.8 second bite at its upper range. Henotis is 29 to 48. Ambling Caltrop is 33 to 56, and Deep Haunt is 33 to 55. So the top three are going to be Soul of the Martyr, Caltrop, and Deep Haunt. Which we haven't had a very long biting fish for a hot minute, so that'd be kind of cool to see if Purse does end up being like a really long bite time. That'd be kind of fun. Alright, so we've about 3 minutes left in this window. We're going to be moving to Eastern Lenosha after this for the greatest bream in the world. Got another bite right here. And at the conclusion of this window, we will be halfway through the fish train. So if you want to take a quick break and you've already caught Riddle, now would be a good time to do that. And in about 2 minutes, we're going to move our way over to Costa del Sol. It's the greatest bream in the world by name, but not by certification. Greatest bream in the world, though, is the longest name of a fish in English. Whoops. Which is fun. I actually sat down and started measuring it out to see how long it would, or how long some of these fish names are. And the greatest bream in the world is the longest one It beats out, oh, it's one of the sail fins in the sky that I can't pronounce. Oh, I'm not familiar with Tenacious D, so that was lost on me. Alright, you have about a minute if you haven't caught it. If you want to catch another one, go for it. I have a cat under me. Alright, this will be my last mooch. Oh, okay, that makes more sense. Okay. Let everyone get their last mooch out if they want. But the window is now closed. We're going to head to the greatest bream in the world over at the South Blood Shore in eastern Lenosha. So I am getting used to my new layout here. I thought about creating strategy boards for all these fish ahead of time and then just putting everybody into a party, but I didn't know how many people would be here, and I didn't have the energy to create a strategy board for it. But that might be something I'll do in the future, where I'll just say, let's have everyone get in the party, and then I'll create a strategy board. So if you want something to reference, you can, instead of just having to listen to me the whole time. Alright, so I'm going to let my high cordial recover, but for those of you who want to get started, we have a little bit of time, so now would be a good time to get a break. We have 10 minutes, but I would recommend getting some Angler's Art stacks together. I would use Patience 2 with Shrimp Cage Feeder. Baits out here. If you want to get started, go ahead and just prep some Angler's Art stacks. Ow. Dear Fruity, what's the deal with Purse of Riches? No idea. Purse of Riches, for those of you who aren't aware, is the last 7.4 fish, as in fish that was big fish that was added in patch 7.4 that we have not yet found. It has taken... Historically, it has taken usually maybe a week or a couple of weeks at most. We're now almost on, I think Tuesday will be day 21, which will tie the current record for longest quote-unquote modern discovery, which is actually the second longest in history behind 45 days, which would be the end of this month. But Purse of Riches is caught in High Tide Harbor in Tuliolol, and we just haven't found it yet. I mean, that's kind of the thing. We've tested a lot of windows, but there's been also a... how do I put this? We shouldn't be surprised that the Tropical Paradise City has really nice weather, and the really hard-to-get weather takes time. Yeah, no. Subspike bait. Who's in Mojo? Thank you for that follow. Alright, so to start with the greatest bream in the world window, I usually get 10 Angler's Art stacks because it really helps to have that extra GP. The window length is just that long that having some, 450 GP stocked up can be really helpful. So we'll start by doing that, and then we will get into the slap afterwards. And for those of you who are also, close to your Angler's Art stacks or just don't feel like getting 10, hold on. I had to sneeze halfway through that. For those of you who are, already getting your 10 Angler's Art stacks, the Banter Bream is going to be what your slap target's going to be. You can get that easily, or at least quicker, if you use Ambitious Lure, which is what we'll be using predominantly throughout the window. And Muzen, you are welcome. I always enjoy fishing, and I always enjoy streaming fishing, and yeah. I think I was trying to think of a third thing to add to that, and I was like, no, that's just a two. That's a two-thing statement right there. I thought that storm was also like in the middle of the Rotano Sea. Like it wasn't near it. Like you can have fish storms is what they're called. Like that makes sense. A complete thought, yes. I was expecting more and I was like, no wait, that's a complete sentence. You didn't have to do more than that. And again, once you get close to 10 Angler's Art stacks or just at 10 Angler's Art stacks, you're going to be looking to slap a Banter Bream or Banter Bream, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. This is a strong bite, so if you want, you can use Ambitious Lure to kind of draw it out a little bit quicker if you want. But once you get that, once that is caught, once you've caught Banter Bream, you use Surface Slap, and then Chum, and then just wait until the window opens. and the window is opening at 20, so 8 p.m. and it's open for 8 minutes. Which actually I think it's 20 to 23, so it's 8 p.m. to 11. It's open for 3 hours. Just know that it brought me and Musen together, and it's all. Thank you. It's fun. Your knowledge and aquariums are a lovely work of art, and we love to visit them. I am very happy to hear that. I love hearing those little stories. Game is both awesome and oh no with ADHD. This game is just both awesome and oh no with anything. I'm learning how to play. I've been learning how to play Mahjong for like a year now because of this game, which is very much an oh no. I never thought I'd be doing that before. Which we'll probably be doing a Mahjong stream here in the next couple of weeks. They did add Medum for Mahjong, and it is totally worth learning. Maybe at the end of this fish train, I'll go do an AI bot game with him on my main really quick just to show him off because he's so much fun. I'm not very good at Domin Mahjong, even though it's the same as Ricci Mahjong, which I'm fine on like Mahjong Soul. Alright, when Eorzea time hits 20:01 or 8:01 p.m., go ahead and cast out, and then use Ambitious Slur up to 3 times. Or until you get the, like, guaranteed bite message. We can use Ambitious Slur here because the greatest bream in the world is a Ferocious Bite, and it uses Powerful Hook Set. And there aren't a lot of other Powerful Hook Set fish in this hole, so their combined bite rate is lower than the combined bite rate of Precision Hook Set fish. And that is one of the places where Powerful Hook Set fish, Ambitious Lure is great when it comes to drawing out those Powerful Hook Set fish. I hear someone getting a catch. It looks like Moth just got a catch. Now here for Greatest Bream in the World, typically you don't need to use Chum when you're using lures. But in this particular case, you don't really have anything else to use it on, so feel free to use Chum while using Ambitious Lure, I would just wait or watch out with your GP. And if your GP starts getting a little bit too low, stop using Chum and focus just on Ambitious Lure, because that's going to be way more impactful. This is also why I recommend getting 10 Angler's Art stacks ahead of time. It just means that you can use Chum for those few extra casts. Another catch. People have already caught the greatest bream in the world so far, but when you do get a ferocious bite, you can use hook to reel it in. You don't need to be using patience for this fish because it's a straight catch, which means you don't need to mooch, and patience doesn't increase the chance of big fish biting. Unlucky. Alright, we're a little over halfway through the window now. The Union of Darkness is asking, how did they hide catch conditions from data miners? It's actually quite easy. They don't have them in the game. All of fishing is done server side. So all of the conditions are managed on the server end, which we cannot data mine. Data mine. Alright, there's about another minute and a half or so left in this window. After this window is done, though, we are booking it over to... we're actually going to go to Tail Feather. Because even though we're going to go into Corythius Western Highlands, teleport to Tail Feather first. And then we're going to fly from Tail Feather into CWH, because our fishing hole is like right there. Now, from this point, I'm just going to do normal casts, because I want to regenerate my GP. This is a bit of a quick window. Less than a minute left. "30 seconds, actually, specifically. Alright, windows closed. We are going to make our way over to Tail Feather. Very quick right now. I remember how to teleport. Tail Feather? Yeah, we're going to head to the Dravanian Forelands first, but we're not fishing in the Forelands. Head our sails over to the southeast. We're going to fly out into Corythius Western Highlands. And then we're going to go to Dragon Spit, which is right over here over these little rocky outcrops. And in these hot springs. Alright, grab yourself some Brute Leech. We're not going to spend the whole window here because this guy is up all the time. But we are going to spend like the next 10 minutes or so here. So go ahead and get started fishing as soon as you want. And your slap target is going to be Spring Urchin. Which is another weak bite. Now, what I want you to also do is to first get your surface slap together, so catch that Spring Urchin first, and then turn snagging on afterwards. Alright, so I'm going to say that all again now for the recording, so give me a second. Give me a minute to let myself all recharged here. And like I said, we're going to spend about, actually maybe even less than 10 minutes here. And then we're going to move over to Upper Lenosha for Joan of Trout. Alright, the Impaler is the big fish of Dragon Spit in Corythius Western Highlands. It is a ferocious bite, and it is also a big fish that requires snagging. So what we're going to do to start is cast out, and we're going to reel in basically any of those weak bites, but ideally we're going to get a spring urchin to surface slap. Once you've got your spring urchin, you can go ahead and use surface slap and chum and turn on snagging, and then you're just going to cast back out and you're going to wait for that ferocious bite. Okay, that's not a good enough slap for me, so I'm going to try that again. But I have the audio bite, so I don't have to do it again. I don't have to say it again. That's weird, getting a cherry. There's only one strong bite in this entire window, or in this entire hole, and it's cherry trout. And I just keep getting them. Holy crap, come on. I've gotten every other fish except the one that I need. Because dragon spine doesn't bite on this window. So I might just take what I have and move on. No. Okay, I'm making a note for myself for the future that when I eventually will redo this, I'll probably redo this whole thing, or this. I will probably re-add the Impaler to a future fish train. I'm just going to have snagging turned on from the start because I think that's just a whole lot easier. I will announce upcoming trains on Blue Sky, yes. The way that these are going to be working, for those of you who aren't aware and want to maybe join in the future, is this ult specifically is relatively fresh when it comes to fishing. Like, I just got level 100 last week and doesn't have many big fish. I think it had 2 at the start of this, and it was like 2 really simple ones that we'll just go back and do. But the goal of these streams is to catch all of the big fish on stream while teaching you how to do that and teaching you how to fish for them efficiently. So if you want to... Oh, I bet you spring urchin does require snagging. I did not research that one properly. Okay, that's a note for me. Yeah, so definitely snagging on first then. Okay, I goofed on that one. Sorry, everyone. So if you want to learn how to catch big fish, or you just want to come work on your big fishing log with other people, it'll be on Halicarnassus. Sometimes we might be over on Materia, but you are welcome to come and join. I will try and announce all of these fish trains before, like, with a few hours of heads up at minimum. Ideally, I'll do like a day, but in reality, it might be like that morning. I'll put out a train. I'll say, here's what we're going to do. Here's where we're going to meet. Eventually, I'm going to have like a house that we'll meet at, but for now, we're going to start here. And if you guys want to come and join, you're more than welcome to. Okay, so there's my spring urchin. As soon as I turn snagging on, I get the spring urchin, and then I immediately get the Impaler, of course. Patronizing and Inferno Kami, thank you for those follows as well. Yeah, Grumble, there is no big fishing information in game. Even your fishing log pulls from the server. But, alright, we're going to spend just 2 more minutes here. This was really just meant to be like a holdover stop. I didn't expect to get Impaler personally. But we're going to head over to Upper Lenosha in like a minute. So, you know, wrap up, use your some of your GP, but try and let it regen. I see a couple of people using Modestler. That isn't going to really help you here. Of all of the fish in the fishing hole that will bite on Brute Leech, which is what we're using, there's 5 total fish that bite on Brute Leech. Only one of them is a powerful hookset fish. The other 4 are all precision hookset fish, so you're not really gaining a bunch. It's not really worth the time loss because of that grace period that the lures have, so you don't really need to use Modestler here. I should say, you really shouldn't. It's not the most efficient. If you did, you're not actively harming like your chances. If you were using Ambitious Lair, you would be, but I wouldn't recommend it. But yes, I'm now seeing though that I should have assumed that Spring Urchin was going to have snagging on as well. Today was really meant to be a dry run to help me identify all the issues that I was going to have, and I have found a bunch of issues, some of which you might not have noticed, and I'm totally able to fix those for the next time. All right, let's head over to... All right, we have 3 minutes and we gotta cross Bronze Lake. So let's head over to Fool's Falls in Upper Lenosha. And we're gonna go for Joan of Trout. Get here because we have to head all the way across the lake here. The next world premiere window I think is on the 9th for Blue Purse or Purse of Riches. Let's see, well, whenever you're an OC, I'll try to enjoy it. Yeah, I'm gonna try and time these. Because on one hand, it'd be really cool for me to be able to say, okay, every Sunday we're going to do this. But the way that schedules work, it wouldn't be easy to do that because a lot of fish are going to be missing those Sundays. So it's going to be a little bit more ad hoc in terms of scheduling. Like it might be Thursdays or for a little while, and then Fridays, and then it'll be maybe weekends for a bit. It's going to come down to a lot of different factors, but I'm going to try and time them so that they're all in different time zones. So if you're on, like, maybe you are European, you would be able to join via Materia in a time zone that's friendly to you. Alright, we have 1 minute to the window. Your slap target is going to be... Let me get this right. Let me just do this right. Hold on. We'll do it once. Crowfly. That's what you need. And your slap target is going to be a warm water trout, which is a strong bite. So like with many straight catch fish, we're going to just cast out and catch our slap target, which will be the warm water trout in this particular case. If you're short on time, it's better to slap something than nothing in most cases. Like, I'll take a dark bass for this time around. That'll be fine. And then at 4:01 a.m., go ahead and cast out after using Chum. And don't use any of the lures, just wait for a ferocious bite. If you don't get a ferocious bite, use Rest, then Chum, and then cast back out. And just repeat that for the whole window. It's 6 minutes long, which is about 2 Eorzean hours. Granola, there has been a fly fishing animation, I want to say for the whole time, I think. Because when you have, whenever you cast out with flies, it's always the fly fishing animation. I'm actually really kind of also excited that somebody noticed that. Because I noticed it a while ago, and then it was like, oh, hey, do people know that these are actually, like, realistic casts? Once you do get that ferocious bite, you can use hook to reel in, because this is a straight catch fish. You do not need to use patience. If you are short on time, it is better just to slap something. Yeah, just no context. It's just slap something if you're short on time. Is the cast time, is the actual animation a little longer? I wouldn't be surprised if it is, but I've never actually tried to measure it. Now, Joan of Trout can be a little slippery, so if it gets away, just expect that to happen. Just use Chum if you can and cast back out and keep going. You want to get as many casts out in this window as you can. Yes, so lures have a chance to be lost anytime a fish bites, whereas with live bait, it is always taken away when a fish bites. So the average time of lure in water is lower time. So lures, like say versatile lure or short bill minnow, Those in-game typically have longer bite times than their non-lure counterparts. In real life, I have found that that seems to also be the case, where I've typically, like, I don't get, like, immediate attacks when I'm using a lure compared to, say, like, an actual bait, but that's mostly anecdotal, and I don't have a ton of support beyond that. Aw, fishing. What do you think is the best big fish to start with if you haven't done big fishing before? The ones on this train? Yes and no. I kind of just picked the fish on this train were mostly to help me troubleshoot any potential issues that I would have had when I do this more in the future. I think the best big fish, I think there's really, like, I think I'm trying to think a lot of things here. I think the best big fish to start with is a very long list. It is probably easier to list which fish not to start with. Yeah, Sigfold, if you rest before you bite, your bait is saved. That's just because the fish hasn't bitten yet. I've also never appreciated how pretty this corner of Upper Lenosha is. The quest is done. Alright, so that's the window, everyone. Yeah, I think the quest, the Feast of Famine, Beast of Brewer's Beacon, is also a really good, like, starting point. I think the jump, though, from Beast of Brewer's Beacon to Feast of Famine for some people could be, like, a huge stretch, because you're basically going from a straight catch fish and a common mooch fish into legendary fish, which is kind of like it's not really like a running before you can walk, but it's kind of like you're walking and then now suddenly you're skipping. So you want to be a little bit careful with that, I would say, in terms of the recommendation. Alright, so our final stop, we are heading to the Sea of Clouds. We're going to head to Camp Cloud Top. Going to end it with Cirrostratus. This, I don't think, will be that difficult of a fish. Nope. Nope. Now, Cloud Top is a pain in the butt for me to find every time, so let me just remember where it is. It's like over here, right? Oh, Carby, your map's not loading. Come on. Oh, fine. I will use Teamcraft for this. Doesn't Carby know? Yeah, it's like right over here. Usually whenever I go, I'm like, oh, it's probably over here, but no, it's like this whole stretch right along here. You'd think it would be this whole spot, but it's not. I wonder if you could go over here, too. That'd be fun. Where's that? Is that it right there? I wonder if you can fish from here. Alright, you're going to be using Giant Crane Fly. No, let's not be giving new fishers Ruby Dragon and Cinder Surprise. Though admittedly, Cinder Surprise mechanically is probably one of the most simple fish in the game. My glam, it is the... I can just tell you right now. I think it's Mindsoft. Yeah, sorry, Mind Keeps overalls, and then the rest of it's the level 80. Level 90? It's Tackle Fiend, so that would be level 80. Yeah, so Tackle Fiend, hat, legs, wow, blanked there for a second. Boots, and then this is just the natural Afflatus half gloves, which is a level 97, 620 artifact gear, and then the aviators in green. All right, with Cirrostratus is a straight catch fish, and it is a powerful hookset fish, which we can use to our advantage. So what you're going to do is cast out and use Ambitious Lure up to 3 times or until you get that proc message, and reel in the strong bite. If you don't get it, just use rest and cast back out and do it again. I did it again. No, wait, no, it's still up. I'm fine. Once you catch that powerful hookset fish, go ahead and surf slap and chum, and then just wait for the window to open before casting back out again. Cirrostratus is a powerful hookset fish. It requires powerful hookset to catch if you were using Patience. We don't need to use Patience here, but we do need to know that because it makes Ambitious Lure our go-to lure for catching this fish. And that's really beneficial because it is the only powerful hookset fish in the window when we have that Fleece Stingray slap. So whenever we see that Fleece Stingray is up, that's going to be our slap target. If it isn't going to be up, which it should always be up at the same time as Cirrostratus, but if you are like maybe using Fish Eyes or something, if Cirrostratus is up and Fleece Stingray is up, slap that Fleece Stingray, and then when the window opens, you are only going to be using Ambitious Lure. And when that window opens, you are only going to be using Ambitious Lure and Chum, and you are going to make it a whole lot easier for Cirrostratus to bite because it is going to be the only fish responding to Ambitious Lure, and it's going to be very, very powerful in upping its chances of biting. Excuse me, I hiccuped there in the middle of that. Let's see. To be fair, as a kind of new fisher in terms of going for fishing, my first big fish were Cinder, Salad, and Ruby. Yeah, we typically recommend that as, like, if someone comes in, they're like, I want to go big fishing, and I want to complete my log, what are the fish I need to focus on? Cinder, Salad, Ruby, Lancet, and Whale, I think, and Fork are, like, the top 6 that we'll recommend. But if someone's like, I'm not very comfortable fishing, I'm not going to send them to Aelid or Ruby necessarily. I'm probably going to send them to something where they'll actually get a bite. Because if someone's unsure if they're going to like fishing, I want to give them something that they are likely to succeed at than the thing that they are unlikely to succeed at first. So fish like Cirrostratus, fish like the Unforgiven would also be a really good one. Fish like Shirjin, or I'm trying to think of some other fish. Those would all be really like good starting fish. The Endwalker does have some good music, yeah. But I think at some point I wrote a list of like, these are the fish that I would recommend, and I don't know if I ever published it. But I might add that to A Fisher's Guide to Eorzea, which is that a command? Do I have a command for that? Nope. Oh wait, I bet you I do. I bet you it's A Fisher's Guide. Yeah. Which, if you are not familiar with A Fisher's Guide to Eorzea, this is my book that I wrote. It is hundreds of pages of how to catch fish, discussion on when to use certain skills, when not to use certain skills, how they work, those types of things. Highly recommend checking that out if you are not familiar with it already. It is good. It is a resource that I try and maintain, but it is also like 7 volumes worth of writing, so if there are mistakes, just shoot me a little DM or an email and I can get in there and fix them, but there will probably be like typos and stuff. I think it's like more words than Act 1 of Lord of the Rings. Don Cheek, thank you for that follow. Alright, the window for Cirrostratus opens at 10:01. Oh, was there a disconnect like 20 minutes ago? Did we miss a disconnect? I'm wondering if it's just because I'm on I'm wondering if it's just because we're on Dynamis. I haven't set up like any of the VPNs or anything. I just face tank them, the disconnects. And what's today? Sunday? Okay, so the world race is on Tuesday. That would actually be funny, because when you're in this stance right here, this standing fishing stance, you are invulnerable to all attacks. Right, so as 10:01 passes, I want you to cast out at 10:01, and then you're going to use Ambitious Lure up to 3 times, or until you see that message that you've attracted a fish with a strong bite. If you see that message, stop. Like immediately, because if you go again, it will overwrite it and you have a chance to get a powerful upset fish. But for the whole window, you're just going to use Chum, Cast, and Ambitious Lure. Ambitious Lure is the most powerful skill you can be using here, so stay above your GP level so that you can actually use that. Mousy! And once you do get the bite, just use Hook to reel it in. Hi, Mousy. Hello, everybody. Thank you for the raid. Mousy, how are you? There was fish. I just caught fish. For those of you, Mousy is another streamer who also does occasionally fish. And you created one of those memes that I cannot remember the specific thing for now, but it's very funny whenever it comes up. But everyone, welcome from Mousie's stream. My name is Fruity Snacks. I am a fisher main in Final Fantasy XIV, and we are at the tail end of a fish train where I was basically teaching everybody how to catch the big fish on the train. And this is the start of something that I'll be doing throughout the rest of the year. If you want to work on your big fishing log and you want somebody to be telling you what to do in your ear while you do it, I am going to be doing that this year. So I try and put the train schedules out, a few hours in advance, if not a day in advance. So you'll have enough time to check, but we'll be on Dynamis, sometimes we'll be on Materia, and yeah, I think that's it. I also make other guides on fishing, and I was, right before you raided in Mousy, I was talking about A Fisher's Guide to Eorzea, which is the 7-volume book I wrote on fishing. In Final Fantasy XIV specifically. Alright, this window's up for another 6 minutes, so if you somehow haven't caught a Cirrostratus by then, please check to make sure you have a book. The folklore book. But how was your stream? How's your Sunday been, Mousy? I saw you had some travel troubles, if I was following that correctly. And if you have to raid and run, go for it, because I think your time zone is way ahead of mine. Oh. Yeah, I wouldn't have expected that because we handle. From over here in the northeast of the U.S., it's all we handle snow. I usually don't hear about snow delays, so that's fun to hear, though. But it seems like you made it home because you obviously have been streaming. And again, if anyone has any questions about these fish or just fishing in general, please go ahead and shout them out in chat. Wow. How much snow was it? Before you leave, how much snow did it ended up? How much snow was it that caused your issues there? This 3. Oh no. Yeah, whale, if you're just not having it with fish, take the break. I would say if you don't mind waiting, it might get a little bit easier in 8.0 because you'll be able to prep the Fellaini a whole lot easier. Plus, we might have new skills for it. Alright, so for those of you who have already caught Cirrostratus, this is the end of the fish train, so you are welcome to go do whatever you want. I'm going to stick around for a little bit longer. I'm just going to finish casting out here the rest of the window, which is until 1 p.m. Eorzean time. We're going to hang around just a little bit longer. Because I want to see how many more of these I can catch. I also need to go, I think I have to go replace my battery. Oh, my mouse here, it's freaking out on me. But I think after this, we're going to swap back to my main. Yeah, we'll swap back to my main. We'll do the Moxitaral Great Gar window that's coming up in 20 minutes. And then we'll do a quick Mahjong game with AI using the Medem voice actors so you can all hear it. And I think that'll be good. I'm also totally trying to buy time until Denmo starts streaming, because then I'll just raid you all into Denmo. I think he's streaming today. Let's see, as someone new, hold on. As someone new to fishing, I've been doing the EX missions on Fena. How should I approach the new fishing location when I don't know? How should I approach a new fishing location when I don't know yet what all is in it? That's a really good question. Fishing in Final Fantasy XIV is designed around a community core. So what you're doing right now is what they want you to do. They want you to be asking people who have been there. They want to be sharing information, all those types of things. So what you can do is do what you're doing now. You ask me. It's like, oh, if you had a specific mission that you were like, hey, I'm about to do this mission, what should I do? I could give you tips on that because I've done them all, and I can share that. And this is the kind of gameplay loop that Square Enix wants with fishing. There's also tons of resources online. I know that there is a Cosmic Exploration. Let me grab it for you. There is a spreadsheet for all the fishing missions. I'll share that in Twitch chat as well. There's a spreadsheet for all the fishing missions that you can use, and that'll give you an idea. This is crowdsourced information that we go through. We know what fish are part of each mission, and then we figure out the bite times, the points, multi-hook yields, those types of things. And so that is precisely what you would want to be looking for. And what you would do is you ask somebody. Because there is absolutely resources for it. And if there's not a resource for it, then it's brand new and we just haven't made it yet. Okay, so for those of you who are on the fish train, again, thank you so much for joining. Stick around, though. We're going to go do one of the new 7.4 big fish, Moxitaral Great Gar. We're going to go see if we can catch that again. And then we're going to do a quick Mahjong game after that. Maybe it might not be a full Mahjong game, but it'll be some of it. So I'm going to teleport back to... we'll do... No. I need to go... I need to put myself in Limsa so I remember to go do the rest of my quests. And then... hide that. Go here. Go to my OBS really quick so I stop doing things. Hold on. Why is my OBS saying, hey, it's already running? Yeah, you've been running for hours. I'll come back to that in a second. Do I have... I don't have the Gathering on my ult, so I can't do this on the ult. Crap. That's fine. But again, if you liked today's fish train, if you liked having someone kind of explain things and having someone who's caught these fish before with you while you maybe were going for these fish for the first time, I plan to be doing these more often. I don't have a set schedule for them because fish don't usually have a set schedule to begin with. But I'm going to try and do them relatively often, and I will give everybody enough heads up ahead of time that they'll be able to plan ahead if they would like to join or not. Let me turn off one of my filters really quick. Okay. So you can follow me on Blue Sky is probably where I'll be announcing those things the most. I do have a Twitter, but I am severely cutting back on its use and have been for a little while. Ode Blue. Oh, don't worry about it. Like I'm saying, there's going to be plenty more, but I'm glad you were able to kind of pop by here for a minute. You should stick around because we're gonna do a fish window really quick, and then we're gonna go do the meta voice actor in Mahjong for a short minute. Zip Pow? Thank you for the follow, and I apologize if I messed up the pronunciation of the name. Ooh, yeah. Once again, the game does not like foliage. Sorry, my computer doesn't like foliage. This is what I just get super choppy frame rate whenever I'm above Yoctel because of all these leaves. Oh, sweet. I didn't check. I think what we missed. I missed Greatest Bream, Aphotic, and something else. Right there at the end. No, not there at the end. What was the other one that I missed? Joan of Trout. So I missed 4 of the 8. Nice. We got all of them. Did we like the fact that there was less fish and kind of more spread out? Was that okay? Do we need to compress them up a little bit? I didn't want to make them too spread out, but I didn't want to make them too compressed because I wanted to be able to have full GP going into them. You're welcome, Moors, and congratulations on being 6 fish closer. There's only a few hundred more to go. But that's why we'll be doing this all year. Fishing is a marathon, not a sprint. I think I can also restock my... Oops, no, wait, I have to go... here. Where are you? There you are. And I totally remembered Checkered Cichlid is a precision hookset fish. That was a good pace. Okay. Yeah, I'll look at the recording too, and I'll look at the source recording I was doing because that's kind of the other thing I need to make sure that works. Because I'll be using that to edit down like some quick bite guides. So I think the thing though that I do need to figure out is how to toggle that plugin on and off, and I don't know how to just yet. I had it running the entire time until I just zoned into Tuliolol there. So I could probably see if I did. Okay, there it is. Hold on. How big is it? 13 gigabytes. Yeah. I only have another 297 free on this hard drive, and I would really like to not have to buy another one considering the situation with tech right now. Though I have really been I've been trying really hard not to buy a NAS. Because that's a lot. I have a friend who has a NAS who is always telling me to get to get one and sends them to me when they're on sale, and I just haven't been able to pull the trigger on it yet because I also don't have space. That's the other problem too. I think it would probably have to go on my desk, but then I'd have to move a bunch of stuff around, and my desk is already pretty cluttered. Mostly because it's covered in Lego sets. But okay, I need a minute for my GP to regen so I can patience too. I think, though, if we ignore the fact that I was muted for like the first 10 minutes of this stream, which is embarrassing as hell, I might trim the VOD up to that moment on YouTube. And at minimum, even if my recording didn't work, at least I will be able to, I can probably SEO that into a quote-unquote guide and then add bookmarks for each of the fish. Caught Moxatorolgar last night, now to wait for the others on their week plus vacation. Yeah, I'm not like annoyed, but I was a little disappointed that I had a Punity Pain bite on in its last window, and I had a flawless prep for recording. I was like super excited to be able to have that, and it was gonna be like great for the guide, and it slipped, and I didn't get another bite after that, so I don't have a guide recording for Punity Pain yet. But before the next window, before the next Punity Pain window, I am going to put out a video on the method that I'm going to recommend for Hanu Peacock Bass specifically, because it is a little intricate and also like really kind of cool for the few of us who are like way into fishing strategies. Punity Pain is like going to be a high tier fish for me, and I think because of that everyone else is going to hate it. But highly recommend, and I know I'm using the wrong lure here, that's fine. But getting Hanu Peacock Bass for Punity Pain is going to be is actually kind of interesting, because we use some strategies from Cosmic Exploration to get it to work. I think that this is checkers. It's not. Still have 8 minutes. I can go for 10 stacks. That won't be a problem. Mudfish is what it is. You can sort of isolate, I think, the bite times, if I remember correctly. I just kind of shot that memory out of my brain once I realized that we could just slap it away and then isolate it. Yeah, anything after 15 seconds is more likely to be a cichlid. Anything before is going to be a check. I'm sorry. After 15 seconds is a cichlid. Before, more likely to be a mudfish. The fish, not the VPN service, because I know that that's relevant. No, I used the wrong hook set. That's fine. We're on hour 3 of fishing, and I haven't actually given myself a break yet, so. Yeah, I can hold it there. All right, there's an ad break coming up. I want to get that out before the window, so you're going to be, if you're in, everyone's going to get an ad break really quick. I'll see you in a few minutes. And for those of you who are subscribed, thank you. Please enjoy your emotes. I also think you get increased channel points rates, which you can use. I don't have a lot that you can use for channel points right now, but you can use it on Mortimer, which is our little channel mascot. He has 2 options. You can make him say whatever you want, or you can have him say a random fish fact, like so. Please work.
Did you know that sharks can be oviparous, viviparous, or ovoviviparous? That means some lay eggs, some give live birth, and others carry eggs that hatch inside them and are then live born from there.
Just like that. I should probably swap the cost of that around because I want people to use the fish facts more than the actual text-to-speech, but it's new, so I'll let people do that. But if you're on Twitch, you're able to do that. If you're on YouTube, I don't have a connection to mix it up on YouTube. Apologies for that. But if you're on YouTube, you do get access to some emojis if you become a member of the channel. It's cheaper on YouTube than it is on Twitch because there's less emoji and less cool stuff that you can do with that. But if you want to, you can. I don't care. But I only did it because a couple of people asked, and it seemed fair to have it in both places. I don't know. I'm not. I don't stream. I'm not a professional streamer. I just do YouTube videos. There's no one going for the Great Gar on Coral. I think a lot of people have gotten it already, like that first wave. We'll probably see another wave of people probably after Savage, probably in a few weeks, when a lot of the first rounders clear in the first 2-3 weeks. Definitely by end of February for sure there'll be more. Alright, welcome back to ads. Or welcome back from ads, I should say. I haven't done reset mooch loop. Oh, you haven't reset a mooch loop with swim bait. So if your mooch loop breaks, you can just use patience and then cast out another swim bait, yes. Don't use patience or patience 2 when you have a mooch, like I'm holding mine right now. If I was to use patience right now, it would cancel the mooch. Don't do that. If you're in this situation and you're like, I need to continue mooching, use makeshift bait instead. If you don't have makeshift bait, but you have a large size fish and you're like, I want to keep mooching, then you can hold it with spareful hand and go from there. There's a lot of different options, but to answer for yours specifically, yes, you would just use patience 2 or makeshift bait and then select the next swim bait. Alright, the window opens in about 90 seconds. Let me grab some water. Actually, let's see. I haven't done one of these before, but we'll see what happens. Alright, if you're on Twitch, we're going to do a prediction. And you'll have 30 seconds to enter. We'll see if this actually works. You have 30 seconds to guess if I'm going to catch Matriarch Great Guard. It is probably not going to be a safe bet. Alright, here we go. With fish like Matriarch Great Guard, I was mentioning earlier that you can use Mooch 2. Same case here, except even though it's a Mooch loop, you can cast out your first one that you just stored, and whenever you're about to use Mooch 2, if you have makeshift bait, use that. Because makeshift bait doesn't cancel mooching opportunities like patience would. How many people do we have here? 1, 2, we have 4 people? Yeah, 4 people plus myself, so 5 in total at Great Gar on Marlborough. That's a break. I'll reel it in. Oh wait, no, I don't have collect on. Crap. If I had collect on, that would have been a gar. Or that could have been a gar. Alright, attempt 2. Ouch.
The Portuguese man-of-war has tentacles up to 50 feet long with specialized stinging cells.
Manowar are cool. There's a couple documentaries on them on YouTube, but you'll see people. Somebody on Marlboro got it. You'll sometimes see people will touch like Portuguese man-o-wars, and they'll be like, "Oh, look, you can touch it." First rule is if you see a jellyfish on the beach, especially if it's really colorful, don't touch it. Please don't. Okay. Don't touch jellyfish in general, but it is the tendrils coming out of it that make it the dangerous part, that make it dangerous to touch. So if you see a Portuguese man-o-war like stranded on the beach, be very careful and observant of where those tendrils might be, because it does have a lot of them, and so they might be down or up shore, and make sure you don't step on them. That's my 2 cents. And my understanding of how that would work if they were on shore. It's typically, though, just if you see a weird sea creature, don't touch it. Unless you know what you're doing. Another break. Come on. If dealing with the jellyfish or man-of-war, use a stick. Yeah. You want to be far away from it. With a stick on a boat, if you want to push through them. If you're swimming and you're surrounded by jellyfish, I don't really know. And lemon tree, I don't actually know that. I know some jellyfish are technically like a single body, but I don't know if I would call them a single cell. I don't know that answer. Alright, this is not looking good for the people who voted yes. I think there is. Like, I know what you're talking about, and I can see it in my head. I feel like it's anemones. Some form of protozoa. I don't know. Alright, well, we did not catch Moxitral Great Gar, so congratulations. Amoebas for sure, singular cell. It was, alright, choose outcome. Did I catch Moxitral Great Gar? You pressed precision hook and caught it. Jeez. All right, let's go. Because someone was mentioning it earlier, let's go quickly do a wind down mahjong run here, and we'll listen to Medem. Wonder Square East. Depends on the local laws. Beaches are required to put signs up about dangerous wildlife seasons. Yes. Actually, I also have Medem selected because I was using Arendelle for a little while. Yeah. Let me also turn up think is he voice or sound effects? Sure, we'll just turn both those up so you can hear it. That's okay. You don't have to pretend to mention. You just have to listen to Medum when he comes on. Let's see, I don't know much about Man of War. Oh, all I know about Man of War is that its venom is a neurotoxin. Anything with neurotoxins you do not mess with. No. Alright, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Drop them north. I don't know if I've seen a beach, like a cannonball jelly. Hold on, let me Google that. Cannonball jellyfish. Oh, those are kind of terrifying. But I'm also very much here for it. Those are very pretty and also very terrifying, because this one picture makes it look like it has teeth. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We dropped
How
the
will the
1.
challenger recover from this, I wonder?
Okay, and now we have a 3-sided weight for a win. Because we just need now a 2, a 2 dot, a 5 dot, and an 8 dot.
The scoundrel!
Never mind. The fact that they gave Medum, like, the voice, like, announcement thing, in my head, it's like he's standing in, like, a booth above the mahjong tables, and it's just going out to the entire, like, the entirety of the Gold Saucer is just hearing these announcements go off. 1, 4, 6, 6, 7. I don't like any of these. I don't like my honors and terminals. Oh, that was good. That was smart. These. I think so. I think the next fish train will do. I'm gonna probably keep it at. I think for at least a little while, the fish trains are going to start at A Realm Reborn and Heavensward fish. And we're going to start there. And then we'll start adding in, like, Heavenborn Stormblood, Shadowbringers, Endwalker. And kind of go up through there. Because for my guides, at least, then we have a 5, 6, 7. So I just need a 5 or a 8. I think for the future fish trains, we're going to stay a lot towards A Realm Reborn and Heavensward, unless somebody comes in and is like, hey, can you do this one instead?
How will the challenger recover from this, I wonder?
If there are requests for specific fish, let me know somewhere. I don't have like a form or anything, but just shoot me a DM.
Oh, this could be a real game changer.
That would have been a 2-sided weight versus another 2-sided weight.
What's this? A rival vying for victory? Oh, goodness gracious me.
Behemoth again.
Oh, even I felt that one. But our challenger's still standing.
If anyone has any requests for fish to be added to the fish train, let me know and I'll start making a list and we'll start figuring out when we can slip it in. But I think I'm going to start with like A Realm Reborn, Heavensward to start, and then we'll start moving up from there. 4, 5, 5. This is really This is a good start. That's another good start. I don't want to get rid of those 5s. We'll get rid of the 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Of course, we get a second 4. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need a pair, though. I guess it would be the 7. Would be our pair. Yeah, we could do that. With the 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that would be fine. And then we drop the 8. And then we're in a 5, 5, 8 wait. So we're just looking for a 5 bamboo or an 8 bamboo. See if we can get the Medem voice of, hey, you've won. No. That would ruin my hand. No, actually it wouldn't, because then I just drop a 5. That's fine. 5 or an 8. I know someone has one.
How will the challenger recover from this, I wonder?
Yes, I will open the con. Hold on. How many 7s are left? 1. No, we'll stay with the 5 and the 8.
That should have been our tile. The scoundrel.
It's a lot of 12k points being thrown around here at a time. No one's had a small hand yet. Oh, Slice's right is up. First time seeing streams and review your guides because of you. Oh, hey. What are your, are the 3 fish that you are away from, I'm going to guess at least one of them is potentially Cinder Surprise, Aelid's Gone, Ruby Dragon, or Sidereal Whale? Or all 3 of or some combination of those as your final 3? But I'm happy to have at least helped you get to this point. Egg, Whale, oh, and Durdina. I keep forgetting about Durdina. Durdina is a serious fish. Probably the highlight of, probably like the highlight of Endwalker fishing. Drop you 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so we can drop a 7 potentially. Well, no, we should drop a 7 because we need a 4 dot or a 1 or a. So we're 3 away from Tempai. I'll take this though to add to our chances. Yeah, we can do that. There's not going to be a 1. We have to wait for a 5.
Oh, goodness gracious me.
Damn it. The fact that Morble wasn't getting rid of any dots should have been an indicator.
But not out.
See, I remember I got Cinder Egg on my first cast of my first try. That is a very, very, very lucky chance there. Are there any big fish that have specific intuition triggers other than catching other fish? No. All intuition buffs are triggered by catching other fish. You have to catch a certain amount of certain fish in order to get the buff. I don't think helping me in Mahjong is going to help with Cinder, unfortunately. No, there's no weird stuff like the hunt marks. We typically don't run with that issue or run with those things. We have a 1, 2, 3 plus a pair. So that's 2. I think we get rid of... Let's get rid of that. Because we still need a 3. Oh wait, no, that was a 6. I needed that. Crap. I thought that was...
How will the challenger recover from this, I wonder? Oh, goodness gracious
Yeah, I should have
me.
grabbed that 6. I don't think that would have mattered because no one... I was going to draw that.
Our challenger is down,
anyways,
but not out.
Yeah, that was a big mistake on my part. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do we want to try for 13 orphans? I mean, we have... We're hyper low on points here, so we might as well go big. Yes, Judge Ray and Glimmer Scale. No, actually, I'll just take this instead. See if we can claw our way back in the back half, assuming we can survive. I have it on my list to make a proper guide on how to catch Judge Ray, because I already have one for Glimmer Scale. Because it was a Mogtome fish. So I just have to do one for Judge Ray. And I just haven't gotten to it yet. It keeps getting deprioritized. I think we're okay if we do that. I mean, we're in a position right now that we could get triplets. Drop the... we can get a 3. And now all we need is a 8. Okay, now we just need a 1 or a 2. I mean, now everyone knows what I'm going for now. But I don't know if the AI is smart enough to
How
deal
will the
out.
challenger recover from this, I wonder? That should have been our tile. The scoundrel.
It was a good, yeah, it was a good half flush setup too as well. As long as it wasn't us, we have made it into South. I don't like any of these, but I don't like the one either.
How will the challenger recover from this, I wonder?
One, two, three, four, 5. We are over. I think we're over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, no, we can drop this. That way we don't have to go for an edge weight. Of course, then we get the 7 that we would have needed. You have 4. There's 7. Nope. Could also take a south, but there's only 1 left. So we know it'll get discarded unless someone's holding it for whatever reason. We'll go for that for the sequence. We have to drop this 8 for a 4, basically. But I will drop this 8 for that 2.
Oh, goodness gracious me.
And lose.
Oh, even I felt that one. But our challenger's still standing.
No, he's not.
Was the competition simply too much for our challenger? I should hope not.
He's still standing. No, he's not. No, he's actually not. All right, hold on. I'm looking to see. I think Denmo was supposed to be streaming by now, but it looks like he has electrical problems, so that isn't going to work out for that. Yeah, no, genuinely, like, I think the fact that they've been adding voices, because they have a ton of voices for Mahjong now. There's, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 13 voices. And yes, I have them all. Please don't judge me. There's a whole bunch of room left. I could see where they still haven't added like Hades or Hythlodaeus. I could see them adding. Who else could they add? Who's someone very sassy? Hello. Crap, I had a list of somebody on who this could have been. I can't remember now, but there's a ton of voice actors that they could add, and like they're all very good. Like I think
God help us.
I used Bakul Jaja before Metam.
A bold move from our challenger, but will it pay off?
I think all of the Arcadian challengers could be one. I think it'd be really funny, like Tyrant, Vamp Fatal, could be really funny.
You can still come out on top.
Aaronville's pretty fun too, and they all have different like little attires as well. You can just pick from, so you can get like Gleaner.
We have nothing to fear. Yet.
Kona.
We
when
won't
I was
go down without a fight.
Yeah, there's a ton that they could do. When I was at Gateway Fate, Javier, the voice actor for Bakul Jaja, was there, and I was in an elevator with him, and we were talking, and I was like, I just want you to know that my favorite voice lines of yours were some of the ones in Dawn Trail, but my top 10 are mostly the way that you deliver the Mahjong lines.
Perhaps this.
We won't go down without a fight.
Because it's just really funny how he has delivered some of these lines, and apparently he plays Mahjong or is interested in it.
But will it pay off?
And I never followed up with him, but I'll have to do that next time I see him. But all right, I am going to wrap up here. So thank you everyone for watching. For those of you who don't know who I am, oh, Sadhu. Yeah, that would actually be a really good one. Sadhu would be really funny in Mahjong. Thank you, though, for everyone for watching, and thank you for coming out for this sort of test run of a fish train. I'm going to be doing this more in the future. If you found having somebody talk in your ear to tell you how to catch big fish and big fishing with people, if you found that fun, I'm going to be doing that more in over the next year plus, I guess. So if you enjoyed that, please look forward to more of it. I don't have a regular schedule for that, as I keep saying, just because the fish times change and my schedule changes, but there will be more of that to begin with. If you don't know, if you've been watching and you're just interested in fishing stuff in Final Fantasy XIV or that occasional Mahjong stuff, you can follow me on all of these places. YouTube is my primary place. That's where you'll find all of my guides and resources on fishing in Final Fantasy XIV. I'm also on Blue Sky, Twitter if you still care, I don't, and Twitch, here on Twitch. So you can follow me on all those places. You can also find me in the Fishcord on Discord. So for that, if you are on YouTube, thank you for watching. I'm not going to be able to send you anywhere, but I do appreciate that you guys hung around, and I'm going to talk to you all later. If you're on Twitch, though, hang on for a second.